So how do we convey meaning? If you come to Canada from a different country and culture, how would you get others to understand you? Creative expression transcends cultural and linguistic boundary and gives us an opportunity to voice our ideas and experience. At Vancouver Community College, we offer the Moving Ahead program to new immigrants and refugees. MAP, as we call it, helps the students make their transition to Canada on many levels, personal, cultural, and linguistic. Through creative engagement with the students, they begin to make connections to their new communities. Our students are mostly from places with oppression, conflict, and even outright war. They left their beloved birthplaces, experienced displacement, and often suffer from trauma that has significant impact on their lives. Imagine a group of learners with very diverse language and core values who hold strongly to their cultural identities. Imagine that they have different English abilities and educational backgrounds, and also imagine that they're dealing with very challenging life situations. Well, how will you engage these learners in knowing about Canada, our values, and what it means to live peacefully here? We start with who they are, recognizing their identities, and move gradually to build a community in which they can learn together, support one another, and courageously dream for a better future.
So to begin, we explore identity. Who am I, and what comprises my identity? Who was I? Who am I now? And who will I become in the future? Students draw life-size portraits of themselves, silhouettes. They use color and images to share identities, dreams and goals, feelings and values. We work with an art therapist to learn painting techniques to add texture to our work. Students add words, symbols, and even items like pictures, stamps, money from their country of origin. I'd like to read a poem written by our art therapist, Nadina Dodd. It's called Identity and the Transcendent Power of Art. I stand amidst a field of curious eyes from other worlds, blinking and hoping eyes, ready to be immersed in the knowing of their own identities. Verbal language is a barrier. That does not dissuade me, for I know that art will transcend these linguistic walls. The newcomers before me are at risk, but their courage is palpable. Stories of loss and hope arrive like new buds in spring. In a new land, the uncovering and creating begins, life-sized with bits of the old and pieces of the new. History and culture are shed and strengthened. Dreams and desires are grasped and let go. Two worlds are balanced, one afar and one underfoot. I learn about love and terror, anger and faith, and get tied into a dream catcher at the end of the day. This student describes his journey from Iran to Turkey to Canada, where he sees the possibility of living a fuller life.
Music has a very special place in the program because it transcends language. The students get to play music together and meet great musicians such as Lazar and Kurai. Lazar came from Togo. Being visually impaired, he shares his story with the students and encourages them with his music and his words. He urges them never to give up. Kurai came from Zimbabwe. Like Lazar, he shares his personal experience about immigration and settlement. He teaches us a beautiful lullaby in his native tongue. The lullaby represents the importance of family and community in bringing love to the child.
And yes, there is always love despite hardship. We ask students, what is important to you? For this student, it is love. She wrote, "When someone lives with love, their spirit never dies. Love is the most important thing in life. Love yourself and live without any fear." For this student, it is the writings of Abdul Baha, who is the son of the founder of the Baha'i religion. He wrote, "Do not be content with showing friendship in words alone. Let your heart burn with loving kindness for all who cross your path." Our student wrote these words in 3 languages, English, Persian, and Arabic. Finally, to their dreams. We read the Aboriginal legend of the dream catcher. Students work on a large dream catcher that connects them to each other. We write down our dreams and goals and weave them in. I'd like to share some of the students' dreams for the future. I want to speak English. I want to see my mother again. I want to go back to my home country. I want to see my family and friends. I want to sleep well for one night. I want a good job. I want my children to be happy and healthy.
So this has been a story about the power of education to transform and to connect. It is a story about how a community of educators and learners come together, how they teach one another despite cultural and linguistic boundaries, how we use our creativity and courage to change views about life. It is our hope that these students will be at peace with themselves and with their past, and most importantly, be able to create a new life for themselves in Canada. Thank you.